Ohio Erie Canal, everybody. Canal water sucks like canal water. Baseball fields down by the canal. This is all new. Within the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, they must just put this shit in here. All they had was that pavilion. Of course, they lined it up out here. I don't know what they did over there, and that keeps sinking over there, where all that asphalt is. And the dumbasses spend a lot of money here. This is a flood zone. So every time big rains in the north or around northeastern Ohio, this all floods out. It's right next to the Tuscarawas River and Ohio Erie Canal. Here's the old metal bridge. Been here way before I was born. They used to have a thing over here. They had a said what the age of it was. And all that happy horse shit. Of course, the building down there is new. But what you don't see is way over in there. Let's see if I can see it. That cement thing back here is part of the old canal stuff. They actually used to ride some of that stuff. Cargo used to come down the Tuscarawas River, and that was a joining place right back where that building's at in the canal, and a little further up is where the canal turnaround is. For the canal boats. So they were hauling cargo on the river and the canal. But usually the river stuff was stuff that had to be moved quick. So they could move down the Tuscarawas real quick. I heard that they, at nighttime, that's where the slaves would go. That's why I have a problem with our president. I grew up with blacks. I was born in a town of Barberton, Ohio. Majority blacks. Akron's majority black. Cleveland's 50 miles away. It's majority black. So everybody gets along. And it's been that way before I was born. But they claim that they used to rush the slaves down the Tuscarawas River at night. And they would hit Canal Fulton, and there was a place where they could hide them. It was underneath the old hardware store, across the street from the bank. Well, there was an actual tunnel that went across that street from that hardware store to that bank, which was right on the edge of the canal. And they would sneak across that little plane that you see right here. It was right up there a little ways. Sneak across that little opening. Either walk across the canal in the water, and that's probably what they did, is because they probably had people watching on the bridges, and they would just walk into the water, because that stuff's only waist deep in there. And they would come up into the bank and go into that tunnel and go underneath the road. And they were hidden real quick. And then the next night, or they might rest for a couple days and then jump back in the river again and then float down the Maslin and down towards southern Ohio. It's a pretty neat heritage here. It goes all the way back to the Indians and stuff like that. This is more of the cement stuff that was on the canal locks. I don't know if they used that for the water levee too, back in the day. There was a tunnel that came up underneath there. Or exactly what. You can see back here, behind the metal stone bridge, they got this thing. So I think there was a thing under through here. And this is where they put the bridge over top of it. I think. I can't remember all the elders I used to listen to. I know they used to bitch about the newer people coming in here and taking everything, and that's exactly what you got. Now they did add a little bit of stuff here, but overall, there's no sense in putting stuff in like this because it costs too much to keep it in upkeep. Now right over here is where we used to have the city pool. All this land was donated by a rich person mall house. And they left all that land and all their money. They were pretty rich. And so this was all self-contained by that monies. But somehow they were able to sneak through and pitch away the pool and then use that money on this other shit. And the town hours, and the only way they could have done it was after they turned themselves in from a corporation, which was a village, into a city. And that's another story when I bumped into the mayor here. Man thought he was a real smart ass until I told him he's not from here. And find out he was just a drunk alcoholic. Moved here because he could have control. Ain't that some shit? Then I ran across this gigantic frog. I pulled out my favorite sword. And I whacked its head. And I whacked its middle eye out. Yeah, really?